Thank you for joining Power to the Pod, a conversation that builds our community through an intellectual integrity and a moral honesty. Now your host, Superior.
Hey, what's going on? It is your boy, Superior, and thank you. If you are listening, I want to let you know I appreciate you. And like always, as you heard from the beginning, power to you, power to me, power to the people. And let's say it together, power to the pod. Now today, yes, I know, forgive me for the 9 people who love my 2 episodes that I just recently put out. Yes, I am going to start recording more consistently Monday and Thursdays, but this past Monday has been pretty crazy for me, and probably in some future episode I will kind of let you guys into my personal life, because it was a big revelation and I got to do something special for the first time in my life, and it kind of just threw off my whole week. So please accept my apology. But for the 9 people, maybe, for somebody probably listened to it twice, I will continue to start recording, dropping episodes every single Monday and Thursday. But without further ado, today we're going to be talking about 2 things that is complete trash. One of them is our Constitution. Yes, that loosely thin piece of trash that has been trying to hold this country together, or probably keep us separated, in my opinion, for hundreds of years. And the new film that I will be seeing, because, I gotta see it for myself, but the new Batman movie is also trash, and we will get into that later on. But once again, thank you for listening. So, of course, like I was saying at the beginning, the Constitution is trash, in my opinion. In my opinion, yes, I did a little research. I kind of watched, a couple of people talk about it, and it kind of backs up the claim that the Constitution is trash. Now, if you guys haven't heard of why this is now a thing, now what has everybody talking about this? And this is Mr. Elie, Elie Mystal. Yes, Mr. Mystal is a Harvard constitutional scholar. Okay, written plenty of books. Okay, and he was on The View, and that's with Whoopi Goldberg and a couple of, conservatives, a couple of Democrats, and they just talk about, worldly, daily things. And he was on The View, and my God, this dude did not hold back any punches. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have ever wanted someone to be on TV and kind of just speak what you were thinking, and then when you hear it, you get excited. Like, now somebody is telling the truth, no filter, and just telling it like it is. So go ahead and listen to this and tell me you don't get excited.
Should the Constitution be thrown out? What do we do? Is it a living document? Is it a sacred document?
It's certainly not sacred. All right, let's start there. The Constitution is kind of trash. Now, let's just talk as adults for a second.
What did you say? It's what?
It's kind of trash.
Trash.
It was written by slavers and colonists and white people who were willing to make deals with slavers and colonists. They didn't ask anybody to look like me what they thought about the Constitution. Mm-hmm. Like, how about popular election for the president? Mm-hmm. People vote, not land.
That's not even in there, is it?
I'm saying if I was rewriting it, we could do it in a tweet, right?
Yeah.
Term limits for Supreme Court justices. And how about no states' rights when it comes to health care, elections, policing, and guns?
Right.
It's just better.
So there it is. Like, you heard him plain and simple break it down just within like a minute or two. And I would love for someone someone to try to argue that, because I got a couple examples here, and kind of what he brought up, the 15th, 14th, and 13th Amendment is like, if the Constitution was perfect, why have some of these amendments were placed in way later, and then it took hundreds of years for it to actually slowly start being implemented in society? And I mean, some can even argue that, it's not even really fully 100% working today. But of course, I buy his book, because I love to read, I bought his book called Allow Me to Retort, A Black Guy's Guide to the Constitution, of course, by Elie Mystal. And just one little part that I love about this book is like first page, like towards the bottom, like he doesn't hold any punches and he just gets straight to the point. One part says, as Roy Brecker says in the movie Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, if the milk turns out to be sour, I ain't the kind of pussy to drink it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is his introduction to why the Constitution is trash. So once you get a chance, get a couple of dollars, definitely check that book out. But we are going to just talk about a couple of the amendments that, kind of proves that point. Now, first and foremost, I'm no constitutional scholar, so I don't know the ins and outs and everything about it, but I am a human being that has a pretty, decent understanding of the world around me. You know what I'm saying? So this Constitution right here, September 17, 1787, 39 of the 55 delegates, and yes, I am reading my notes. I don't have all this memorized. You know what I'm saying? But 39 out of the 55 delegates signed the new document, with many of those who refused to sign objecting to the lack of the Bill of Rights. At least one delegate, at least one, that gives us a little hope. At least one refused to sign because the Constitution protected slavery and the slave trade. Now, answer me this. Yes, the South wanted to continue to profit and to brutalize and to mistreat and everything under that umbrella to black and brown people back in the day with slavery and other forms of torture. But it made profits. It made them money. They wouldn't just do, they probably would just to have somebody cooking and cleaning, but it generated profit. Do you really think they will let a constitution, a piece of paper, an agreement stop them from getting their money? Nah, it doesn't work like that. But that's just to give you some context. This Constitution was in place hundreds of years ago. Okay. Now, the 15th Amendment, if you don't know what that is, let me read it to you. The 15th Amendment to the United States Constitution prohibits the federal government in each state from denying or abridging a citizen's right to vote on account of race, color, or previous conditions of servitude. What do you think? What's going on with today with these Republicans gerrymandering, making it harder to vote with just petty little things? It's like, really? We don't see this amendment just being slapped around like some stepchild. Like, really? Do we not understand what this is supposed to, you know what I'm saying? And they're sneaky because they're not just like, only black folks are going to have to get, show ID or driver's license to vote. They're just making a blanket excuse, knowing that it's going to impact one race more than another. You know what I'm saying? You're probably asking me, Mr. Superior, how is showing an ID or driver's license like going to stop someone from voting? Well, let me tell you. To get an ID costs money. Okay. Now it's probably like, I think in Colorado, like $100, give or take $10 or whatever. But normally they have restrictions on even getting your ID or even your driver's license. If you're even behind $100 in child support, guess what? You are not getting your driver's license. Good luck. Try again. If you have tickets of any sort, guess what? You got to pay those off and then come back and get your ID. You see what I'm saying? And that's just an easy thing to point out that they're trying to do to make it just a little bit harder. They don't want to do the mail-in ballots. They don't want to make the voting day a holiday that people can have that time to take off work. I can't take time off work, and not for free. I might have to use the sick time, but I can't just do it for free. So therefore, I'm not going to miss a day, stand in that long line where they make it illegal to pass out water, to give out food. Like, you can't do that. But I got to stand in line, miss a day's work to vote, and depend on the electoral college. Like, it's just a mess. But yes, the 15th Amendment is like, why are you there? Why are you even taking up space? You know what I'm saying? Sorry about that. I'm trying to get over this cold, but the 14th Amendment is an amendment to the United States Constitution that was adopted in 1868. It grants citizenship and equal civil and legal rights to African Americans and enslaved people who have been emancipated after the American Civil War. Now, how long did it take from 1868, when this amendment was put in? How long did it take for this to come into effect? Oh no, whoever said a week out there is wrong. Come on, give me some more answers. How long do you think it took for this to kick into play from 1868? You over there. What was that? 2 years? No, you're wrong. Get out of here. Saying 2 years. Man, how to you? No, it took over 100 years and plus some to get this into play. It took assassinations from black leaders. It took blood, sweat, and tears. It took marches. It took boycotting. It took beatings. It took lynchings. It took everything under the sun. Like it's just so many metaphors, and it's like, do you see what I'm saying? Why are we so hung up on this Constitution and it hasn't really been doing its job? You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have an employee at your job not doing their work until 100 years later. You see what I'm saying? He'd be out the door, quick, fast, in a hurry. This is capitalism here. You know what I'm saying? You're out the door. But we're so hung up on this Constitution. The 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution abolished slavery and involuntary servitude, except as this is the zinger here. This is the important part here. Except as punishment for a crime. I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I was told jaywalking is a crime. Now, of course, everybody and their mama jaywalking all day. Like, I don't even think cops really even care about that. Well, I'm pretty sure if they wanted to stop your black ass, they'd be like, hey, sir, you're jaywalking. Get your ass over here. You know what I'm saying? Empty your pockets. But can you imagine how petty they were back then? except as punishment for a crime. They were like, hey, don't be messing up my money. Yes, we're letting them free. Okay. But we need some sort of stipulation to get their ass back on that field. Okay. So what do we got? You know what I'm saying? Oh, petty crimes. Bro, they couldn't even be out at a certain time. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had no place to live, but if they were caught without papers of working or something along those lines, that's called a crime. That was a crime back then. But you don't have a place to live. So, you know, like, you got to hide in like a shed or something, or some rundown building, or in the woods. Like, you see how petty they were, and they added that in there on purpose. And we still have it in here. Look at our prison system. Why do you think that's making so much money? Why do you think people like Michael Jordan and other wealthy people pour their money and their support for prison? Why do you think they keep that going? Because it makes them money. It just keeps making them money. Am I wrong? Am I wrong for saying that out loud? You should try that. Say the Constitution is trash. Say it out loud. You might feel better about yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to go to work tomorrow just yelling out, the Constitution is the trash. Trash, okay? So my question to you is, do we need to revise it? And if you say no, you failed already. You got a 0%. Because anything that I've said, especially about those amendments. Now, of course, there's a whole bunch more amendments, whole bunch of other things that we can look through, and I'm pretty sure it's extremely outdated. But my question is, how come Democrats are too cowardly to say that? They probably would tell you behind closed doors, yes, the Constitution is trash. It needs to be updated because it's so far behind. But why do these Republicans hold on to dear life with it? Why? I know why. I know why. You know why too. If you seriously don't know why, come on, read a couple books, watch a couple YouTube videos, and then get back to me. But you know what we can agree on is that Batman is trash. Yes, Batman, the movie, even though I haven't seen it, I am convinced that it is trash. You know why? Because this one guy opened my eyes, okay? He helped me see the light, okay? What's wrong with today's movies is that they're too woke. They are too awakened. They are seeing the world with their third eye, and they're not supposed to. We need things to be as simple like in the olden days. You know what I'm saying? Like, movies today are too long. 2 hours, 3 hours. I mean, that one Avengers movie was like damn near 5 hours. Like, why? Back in the day, a 45-minute movie was good. You know, all these movies, same plot. You watch the first 10 minutes, you already know what's going to happen. And there's no good villains. It's always the good guys. You know what I'm saying? They're too funny too. And one thing that I do miss, that this young man that I will let you guys here speak, he opened my eyes. Especially with this Batman movie. Here it is. Too many black folks are good in this movie. And I'm not talking about good actors. I'm talking about in this movie, too many black people are portrayed as being morally heroes, I guess you could say. You know, they don't have like superpowers or nothing, but black folks are making honorable decisions, selfishless decisions, like to help other people. Who in the hell said that black people can make decisions that will help other people? Like I said, what's his name? RK Outpost Live. I don't know if that's a YouTube channel, but listen to him. Okay, listen to him speak. And you tell me he doesn't change your mind.
There were only a couple good people in this movie. You had Bruce Wayne, Batman, and you had Alfred. Those are the only two good white people. The rest of the three other major players that I would consider like overall like moral good people were, you had Jim Gordon, who's black in this. You had Catwoman, who's not white in this. And then you had the mayor, who's a black woman. Again, very much on the nose for current day Hollywood. Did not like that. Took a little bit off the score for me, to be honest. Overall, my experience with it is an 8 out of 10.
So obviously, I'm just joking around. Okay. I do not honestly believe the last, 45 seconds of what I was saying, but I think this young man doesn't understand how every millions of movies that were created before the past 10 years, how they were always portrayed. The white guy or white woman, well, it's not even really white women, but white people always were the ones to figure out the answer. They were the heroes. They were the good guy. Okay. And the black guy was either, just like they always say, the cliche, killed in the first 10 minutes, the first one to die in a horror movie. Okay. Everybody knows that. The first one to die in a horror movie. The drug addict, crackhead, whatever you want to call it, smoking weed. Before smoking weed was cool. Or the villain, the thug, the gangster, you know what I'm saying? Like, in a bad part of town where the white guy's, holding his wife's hand real tight and she's clutching her purse and they have to walk through this, murky neighborhood, and you got the black guys with the do-rag and the big chains and the muscle shirts and the baggy Adidas jeans and stuff when that was, cool back then. Well, I think it's cool now, but like they were always portrayed that way. It's like, why can't we reflect differently? You know what I'm saying? I get more nervous when I walk into a room full of white people. You know what I'm saying? I start sweating. My hands getting all clammy. You know what I'm saying? I start stuttering. Like, what is going on here? Like, I feel out of place. You know what I'm saying? I make sure my wallet is in my pocket. I take my wallet from my back pocket and put it into my front because I don't want them to rob me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it worked both ways. And a great example of this is the movie Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I just got to say that. Wakanda Forever. You know what I'm saying? When that movie came out, black folks were going to the movies to support it, and not just with their money, not just with their pocketbook. They were dressing up. And I'm not talking about just, fly. They got their, $200 shirt, $500 pair of shoes. Of course they were doing that. Black folks would do that all the time. But, they were in full costume. Cosplay costume. They got the dashikis. They got the African pendant. They got the spears. They got the face paint war thing going on. And it wasn't weird because they finally had a movie that represented them in the best light possible. They were looked as kings and queens and a protector and a fighter and black excellence at its best. That's what they were dressing up for. To live that hype. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see Black Panther. You better come correct. You know what I'm saying? That's what they were dressing up for. So that should tell you, which I mean, we can make a whole nother episode on this, but that should tell you how bad black folks want to feel good. And I didn't make that up. I took that from D.L. Hughley, but that's how black folks, that's how bad they want to feel good. That they will do all that for a movie. But that movie says something. Now, of course, Batman is not on that Black Panther level. But, I mean, the people directing these movies, use your brain a little bit. How do you get some money? You got to appeal to people. You got to reach out to people in the way they want to be reached out. And people don't want to see a whole bunch of white folks running around fighting each other and claiming to save the world. Like, no, I want to see a black Batman. You know what I'm saying? Get me excited. It's been like 20 Batman movies. You want me to get excited over a Batman movie? Cause I'm Marvel all the way. You know what I'm saying? DC, only Batman, the only movie I would see from DC is Batman. And I'm not going to see it the first week. You know what I'm saying? I can't support you that hard. But if you want me to support you, cast and direct and film a black Batman. That would be world breaking. This world, this internet could not survive. You want to see people in a panic? You think the Ukraine and Russia thing, the war is crazy? Make the next Batman movie a black guy. Oh, people will lose their shit over that. People will jump off a building and slit their throat on the way down. Like, oh, black Batman? Can't take this shit no more. That would be world changing. But no, of course, DC's not going to do that. But what's wrong with them putting commissioner, the commissioner of the police chief, black, and a pretty decent good guy, from what I hear. I didn't see the movie. I will this Saturday. The mayor of Gotham is black. Black woman. I know, it's a double stinger. Not only the person is black, she's a woman. And she's making good decisions. Well, gee golly. And then Catwoman, she's not even black, but she's not white, as he said. Is she supposed to be like ghetto looking? Like, just, talking with slang and, bobbing while she's walking, and it's like have a gold tooth or something. Like, what does he expect? Like, why? Why are we so, and of course he's probably just saying that just to get clicks, but bro, not every click is a good click. You don't want every click. If somebody's clicking in and enjoying that, you probably don't want them as friends.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to join the conversation by subscribing. Make sure to tune in next time, and like always, power to you, power to me, power to the people, power to the pod.